Hey guys, Max here, and in this video I want to talk about how it's okay to be undecisive and very smart too, actually, in some cases. And this is going to apply to any entrepreneur that travels a lot and spends a lot of time thinking about where am I going to live and where am I going to travel to and where am I going to run my business from. And it's really going to apply to you if your business is primary in your life and the other stuff is important, but not as important as your business and financial success. So here's how I got to think about that. I've been traveling over the world for the past 3 years now, and I've realized I spend so much of my time thinking about where am I going to live, where am I going to go, and thinking about should I do this or that, and when should I book my plane ticket? But if I, and they kind of always in spending time thinking about where am I gonna go, and just thinking about I need to book my plane ticket to this place, but if I go to this place, where am I gonna go 10 days later, and then 10 days later, and then how is that gonna fit all together, and all that whole bunch of complexity all the time, and I want to share some tips with you guys. So one of the things is I feel always pressured, especially when we do travel plans with friends. I always feel pressure to give decisions quickly, like plan 2-3 months in advance. And my friends usually book plane tickets way before me. If we decide, soon we're gonna go to Japan, and my two buddies, they already booked their plane tickets, and I haven't booked my plane ticket yet, right? So and it's in less than a month that we're going. So I feel bad with myself because I'm why am I procrastinating on this, But here's the thing. Basically, one thing I learned from a book on investing called Angel by Jason Calacanis, this guy who invested in Uber, is that investors a lot of times will wait a lot on purpose before making an investment. And that pisses off founders a lot because founders are like, hey, like you said that you're interested in giving us money. Where's the money? And then the investor's like, oh, yeah, sure, let's sit down again, and basically what the investor is doing, they're buying time. And they're not only buying time, but they're buying more information. So more information to make their decision. So for me, how that translates is I found that buying my plane tickets last minute is 100% okay, and I don't need to sweat it at all. The reason is buying plane tickets 2 months in advance or 2 weeks in advance, in my experience, doesn't make a big difference in prices. Maybe a slight difference, maybe 20% or something like that. But it's not a huge difference, right? But when you plan in advance, that much in advance, I feel like I need so much more decision juice to do that. And I feel like I need to take in so many more things. And then that's if everything goes fine. A lot of times you plan in advance, and then if you have so many things going on in your life, then something might come up, and then you can't go, and then you bought the plane ticket, and you're fucked, right? So by not being too much in advance, then you basically what you're doing is you might seem undecisive, but you're really buying options. You're really keeping all your options open, and so what I found myself. The best thing I think I'm finding for myself is it's okay to be undecisive, and by undecisive I mean just not even thinking about it, not even sweating it, just being it's totally cool. I'm gonna book my ticket 2 weeks in advance, and I'm gonna book it last minute, and that's how I do it. This is how I don't. I minimize my need to make complex decisions in advance, and also it's kind of this hierarchy of decisions, Whereas if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you need to make big, important decisions every day. And in relation to that, the small decisions of where am I going to go live, that's not as important as the day-to-day decisions you need to make in your business, So yeah, that's how I kind of, I don't know if it's very clear, but that's how I came to terms with the fact that it's 100% okay to not be too much in advance and not have plans confirmed more than a month ahead of time, right? And that's one thing. Another thing is to preserve decision juice and that I found work a lot for me is I have a rule, if I'm going somewhere, I'm going to stay there at least 3 months, because the thing is, if you move around a lot, then you have a lot of small decisions to make. Like, just talked to my friend who just got to Bali, and I'm like, hey, like, have you met this person? Because I wanted him to meet someone in Bali, and then he's like, no, I've been in Bali for a week now, and I had like this flu, and I had basically to like stay home for a week, right? So I was like, oh yeah, fuck, that reminds me how like little things like that, but not even if you don't get sick, just like setting yourself up in a new environment, like you really lose every time you go to a new place, you lose about a week of productivity, that's just what it is. That's just the cost of it. So if you're bouncing from place to place, at least for me, I find it's just way too much. So basically these two strategies of like being undecisive on purpose for the small stuff and like kind of staying at least 3 months in a place. These two ideas for me, I've found that it really makes this whole lifestyle of not having a home base and kind of just moving around and traveling, it makes it a lot more easy. It's a lot easier on the mind and preserves a lot more of decisional ability to keep for your business. So hope that helps, and peace out.